Anis.
Thank you, Mbak Desi.
Interesting, wasn't it?
It was
the
very
discussion. We
interesting.
had Ibu Destries and we have Pak Luhut.
Yes, first of all, when Ibu Destri provided the macroeconomic pictures of Indonesia, which is quite optimistic, and then Pak Luhut outlined how we handled the pandemic and how we look for the futures in terms of the bureaucratizations and all of that reform that has been done through the authority of the national government. Now, let me now go to Jakarta.
Floor is yours.
The questions is often how investors look at cities and decide whether to step in or to stay, to observe, or not to even coming. Now, Jakarta is a city that is very vibrant in terms of its economy. And Jakarta contributed around 17% of the national GDP. So it is definitely a place where you have great economic potentials. So for investors, number one, allow us to share to you that we have a vibrant economy, we have the workforce that is needed, and also we have the infrastructures to support business activities. So let me go one by one on that issues. Number one is with regard to the economy itself. I mentioned about the size of our economy. Number two is the small, micro, and large corporations that is here in Jakarta. All are provided with support in terms of business permit, ease of doing business. All the regulations has been there. The reform has been done in the past 8 years. So Jakarta's Center for Investment is not something that was only invented a year ago. We have undergone reform for the past 8 years, and Jakarta is ahead of the game in terms of facilitating investors to come, understand all the regulations, and able to be advised even on a one-on-one basis. So we have the infrastructure to support that. Number two is on the issue of mobility. Whenever people talk about a city and people are talking about investing, definitely they will look at how excellent is the mobility connections, the connectivity. Connectivity in terms of Jakarta and the rest of the world. This is definitely the gateway of Indonesia. Number two, connectivity within the city. And we have built public transport in a massive way in the past 3 years. So I'll give you illustrations. 4 years ago, our public transport coverage was only 42% of Jakarta. Today, 82% of Jakarta. And we will cover more than 95% of Jakarta by next year. It means anybody from anywhere in the city can reach public transport within 500 meters of wherever they are. It means public transport is developed. Of course, we are improving. We have MRT and construction in terms of expansions is undergoing. We have LRT and we have massive BRT system. In fact, our BRT system is the largest in the world today. And we are going green. So by 2030, all our fleets will be electric buses. Now we have around 30 electric buses. But we will have all of our buses electric by 2030. So we are undergoing that transformation. So internal mobility is there. So anybody coming to Jakarta, you will be seeing a public transport that enable anyone to go anywhere in the city. And then third aspect is mobility from Jakarta to other places in Indonesia. To, in terms of Java, Pak Luhut mentioned earlier about connectivity in terms of tolls. And the hub of the tolls is obviously here in Jakarta. So you can reach anywhere. So that's on the issue of mobility. Number three is on how city leadership and how city government is able to facilitate, able to produce policy that is business friendly. To go into that area, let me go back to the issue of COVID. I'm bringing up the issue of COVID not to simply to talk about COVID, but to give you illustrations of how do we handle challenges when we face situations like COVID pandemic. If I may, I'd like to use the slides here. So these are principles that we adopt during the crisis. 1, transparency. 2, collaborations. 3, based on science. We have always adopted this principle. Why we're doing this? We want to maintain the trust of the world to our city. That when we're undergoing a crisis, we want to make sure that everyone understands the magnitude, the challenge, and that's why transparency is key. And if you are transparent when you're dealing with COVID, anything else will be transparent. Yeah. Because COVID is a lot easier if one would have hide the numbers. But as perhaps you remember, in the early times, we are often criticized for having large number of COVID cases. On the other hand, our argument was it's better to know the size, the magnitude of the cases instead of hiding, instead of lowering testing. Yeah. So that's key. And because of that principle, our testing is 12 times the standard set by WHO, 12 times higher than the standards. And then our contact tracing, which is the tracing, is 1 to 7. It means whenever there is one case, 7 were detected, were tested. And then the treatment, we have 194 hospitals in Jakarta, and we converted 140 of them into COVID hospitals. So it shows that the 3 T's that is so famous, testing, tracing, and treatment.
That's right.
We improve it, we enhance that capacity in a speediest way so that you will be able to see that when Jakarta and Indonesia experience the second wave in the month of June, July, August, the slope of Jakarta COVID cases is like a stalactite. It goes up very quickly, but going down so rapidly. It means the testing is high, the tracing is high, also the treatment is doing well. Now, vaccinations. Jakarta, we have 109 people that has been receiving first dose. In fact, we have vaccinated 130% of our target, which also means we are vaccinating a lot of people who are not living in Jakarta, but come here to
outside
get vaccinations.
The Greater Jakarta area.
And our approach has not been administrative. Our approach is this is a humanitarian issues, and when anybody come to our city for vaccinations, we are providing the vaccines to them. So with that, I'm sending message to the business community. That is the attitude of Jakarta government. The attitude is open-minded, transparent. We are collaborative. We invited everybody to come and join us when we're handling the crisis. The same thing. We are inviting people to come and invest in Jakarta. And if you have problems, come to us. We will assist you in every way we can. And then on top of that, when you look at the way we handled the pandemic, we are able to collaborate with private sectors here in Jakarta to assist issues that often of not their responsibility. But we are able to reach them and get them come on board. So I'm giving the illustrations of how we handled pandemic as a record to be presented to the business community This is the way the government of Jakarta respond when we are having challenge that we had never imagined before. Business, it's predictable, so we are able to do it. Now, let me give you some numbers in terms of where we are in terms of reform. This is the economic recovery and increasing ease of doing business aspect. You know, in the past, to obtain a development permit, it takes more than 360 days. It's basically a year. So whenever you're going to build a tower, a building of more than 8 floors, then you will need a year. Now, it's all done in 57 days, maximum. It's a true reform that we have been doing in the past 2 years, that now anybody come to Jakarta interested in building a tower or a property, then they only need 57 days. What does it mean? I'm giving this as an illustration that we are reforming every aspect of regulations, permits related, to make sure that anyone interested in doing business in Jakarta have a predictable time schedule. Business need predictability. If predictability in terms of cost, predictability in terms of time, and we provided that.
And regulations as well.
And regulation as well. And on top of that, everything is now digitalized. So you can actually submit your permit request in a digital system. And we had that based on the geographic information system. So you will not finding surprises. To give you an example, you want to set up a business on waste management, for example. And then you submit a permit, you go through all this process. At the end of the process, then you found out those area is red zone for waste management. Then it's a waste of time. Everything in terms of permit related is geographic information system based. So our map is the foundations of every digital permit issued in the city. And during the crisis, we have made a breakthrough of giving business permits to micro and small businesses here in Jakarta. In the past, they come to us and requesting or submitting a request for a business permit. Since the beginning of the year, we do it the other way around. We come to them, we give them the business permit, and we give them the tax ID. Why that's necessary? We have digital market that is so growing. You can go to any of this platform to sell your product, but it will require business permit, it will require tax ID. So instead of waiting them coming to us, we come to them. I give you illustrations. Before the pandemic, we had 24,000 micro and small businesses that have business license or business permit. Now it jumps to 280 something thousands.
Wow, it's 10 times.
From 24,000 to 280,000. Why? Because we work in reverse. In the past, we wait for them to come and they don't come. And then now we send our team to go out to the field, visiting all these places and ask them simple questions. Do you have business license? They said, no, I don't. We'll give you one. So this is the business license, and then this is the tax ID. With that, they then participate in this digital market. Without that, they're not going to be able to do that. And now, on top of that reform, we're inviting the government institutions, government agencies, to order anything from small and micro businesses through our digital membership. We have small business and micro businesses partnering with us, and we said often it's the catalog system. So if they don't have the permits and they don't have the tax ID, they're not going to be able to be part of our catalog system. With that, they're part of the catalog system, and government agencies in Jakarta, not only our agencies, but national government too, is able to order anything they produce through this system. So these are examples of reform that we're doing to move the economy. So imagine if to the small and micro businesses that our approach, how do we then facilitate the big investors, the big businesses? We're welcoming them too. So we will be solutions oriented. We will be open to any idea, suggestions of making our investment activities here in Jakarta goes much faster. So I will also mention a little bit about how we build our public transport, just to give you an idea that the city is becoming more like a modern urban area. When public transport is developed, it's like the other side of the coin. Pedestrian sidewalks need to be developed. If you don't develop public transport, you don't feel the need of developing sidewalks. It takes two to tango.
Yep.
And the pedestrian path we have built by now is 241 kilometers.
241
kilometers.
This is in the last few years.
And of course we'll construct 222 kilometers next year. But you will be seeing more people walking on our sidewalks now than a few years ago.
And cycling.
And cycling, obviously. And we have now 96 kilometers of bike lanes. And we hope to have 500 kilometers of bike lanes by 2030. Of course, we are doing it gradually. But what's also interesting is we have now 63, it's called bike sharing blocks. So we put the bikes there. It's the private sector also there. And then people were moving around the cities using public transport, walking, cycling. The idea behind all of this is green economy, green transport in mind. Let me underline, we have green environmental challenge, air quality issue. And how do we solve that? It's not by cursing darkness, but by let's do something that create breakthrough. So that's our approach. So for anyone interested in investing in Jakarta, I've given you an illustration how we reform our bureaucracy, and then I've already provided also information about the economy, about the mobility. So we do hope with that all informations, you will be seeing the new face of Jakarta. Let's look at Jakarta, not only the year 2021, but look at Jakarta 5 years, 10 years down the road. This is the place in which even if central government is no longer here in Jakarta, but business activity will continue to be in the city.
Thank you very much. It was a very detailed